Greetings everyone, this is Jarus, Citizen Gamer, here with my ever-present bastion of common sense and the only man brave enough to take a Retaliator into Arena Commander, Lightning Dragon.
That was a bug.
It's
But I'd
like
still do it.
yes, an unmanned Retaliator. We did my first actual Arena Commander victory. I think that was the previous video I did this channel. I think the link will be at the end. But went smoothly for the first time. I didn't have a crash or disconnect. Most of the times where I can't finish it, it's always been because almost always been because it disconnects. I live in a place with questionable internet, and at best. But today I want to talk about basically PvE versus PvP and what it is to people who play Star Citizen. What we feel that the focus most people are going to be interested in when it comes to Star Citizen. Now, I believe it's going to be PvE. I look at the Star Citizen community, and I would say probably 90%, and that's I said, I'm just pulling that number straight out of my ass. But I think that they're going to be embracing PvE elements more than PvP, and I base that off of my experience in MMOs such as World of Warcraft and such like that, where PvP is an option, and most people don't drift into that direction. They'd rather do co-op raids. They'd rather go ahead and do missions together, things like that. And but what do you think, Lightning? What do you think the focus is going to be?
Now, it's not going to be much of a debate because I agree with you. When you look at, for
No,
example,
disagree with me.
No, I can't. Well, when you look at the forum and you have all these people that are like, oh, I'm going to be so awesome in PvP and la 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 la. I mean, we'll not argue the semantics of if they will or will not be good in PvE or not, or PvP. But, I mean, with the forums, it's like, what, 10% of the community actually posts on the forums, and then maybe like 2%, 1% of that talk about PvP.
And I think when you look at the fact that, for the most part, Arena Commander has been abandoned since the game has been playable. It's not part of it. I think was the control issues we had, but I think another issue that was pushing that is a lot of people didn't want to go out there and fight other players. That wasn't what they got into Star Citizen for. There, when the Persistent Universe testing grounds came out, I've seen a lot more activity there, and I think that's every time I go into an instance, there's like always 16 people.
Yeah, it's always full every time.
Yeah, and I think that's what most people are looking for. Now, as far as PvP goes, I'm all for it, but personally, I don't think I'm going to be focusing on it this time. I've done a lot of games, and Lightning can attest to that, where I've done PvP and stomped serious face. But the thing is that I don't like the kind of person it makes me out to be. I get really focused. I get really obsessive. I get mean, vindictive, brutal, bastardly even, and everything that the game offers disappears except for the one focus of killing that guy or whatever. And Star Citizen is such a broad concept, and with so many interesting things and so many different ways to play and different jobs. And I feel that just focusing on PvP is like saying I don't care about the rest of the game, which is huge because I just want to kill Bob, you know.
Indeed.
Lightning's not very talkative today.
I'm also trying to delete like 500 emails because I never check my email.
You're checking your emails while we're doing
No, I'm not checking the email. I'm deleting things while you're talking. I can do two things at once. It's just I'm not sure what to follow up. I mean, okay, no, sorry. I know what to follow up with that. Okay, so in Armored Warfare, for example, we play almost exclusively PvE. And we were actually talking about this earlier today, where I was saying that I think, like, me personally, I mean, not to like, oh, I'm so great, or, we're so great, but I think as games go, because I played games for so long and whatever, I think I come into a game with already a certain level of skill, but I don't think my level of skill really rises that fast. For Darius here, he'll play the game like twice as much as me, and he'll get into like the numbers and shit and be like, oh, if I use this and I do that, or if I'm doing this and I'm at these angles, all this kind of of stuff can come in, and he's got a higher skill level cap than I do, where I just play the game and I'm just pretty decent at it, overall. But on the same side, which you said, when it all goes well, it goes well, but when it all screws up, it screws up royally.
Are you calling me a metagamer? I am not a metagamer. No, but he brings a good point because Armored Warfare, and that is a game that I absolutely love. I think World of Tanks, but modern, and also with a heavy focus on PvE. So much so that the next patch I think maybe comes out tonight, or by the time you're seeing this, if not this week.
One can hope.
One can hope. They're increasing the amount of money players can make in PvE because it's become a gigantic focus. There's been an uproar on the forums like, hey, we came from World of Tanks because we saw there was a PvE element, and we're tired of the vitriol, the spite, the hatred, the anger that you find in the realm of PvP. And when you go into a PvE round, I'd say 95 out of 100 rounds, everything is kind of cool, but you get those occasional rounds where someone is a great AD bag, and they're patent reincarnated, and they gotta tell you how much you suck or how much this or that while you're beating them in every possible way on the scoreboard. But
we even had that in World of Tanks one time. There was this one guy. He did like 100 damage. He did like 100 to 200 damage. Died in the beginning, and you were basically carrying the whole team. I think I had died shortly afterwards, and you like tripled every possible score the guy had, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so much better than you. You're just trash." And he badgered you over like multiple accounts because he kept blocking him.
He said he had 20-something accounts, and he kept logging off and logging back into another account, and then sending me nasty messages. And I'd blocked out, and he'd log off, he'd log back in. That is the attitude that I try. I mean, it sounds weird to say that's the kind of grade A asshole I can become when I focus on PvP. that guy almost mirrors who I become, and that's why I don't want to focus on that. No one wants to deal with me when I turn into the Hulk.
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash with and use a bazooka too. But that kind of obsession really kind of drives me nuts, and it doesn't matter winning or losing. What does it change? I mean, you're not really,
especially in a game that's all digital. I mean,
yeah.
Like let's say in Armored Warfare, for example, you come last in the place, so you get 5,000, 10,000 less credits. Big deal. You get into another game and you have a good game. I mean, you can't let that kind of stuff, get at you.
Exactly, and of course you're always gonna have jerks wherever you go. The internet is great for e-thugs, because talking shit in real life is dangerous, and so they like to go out there and spout all their crap. But I think the internet is interesting because especially when it comes to games, because you're looking at an environment where people can have that pure anonymity, and they can go out there and really be who they are as a person. And who I like to be is a guy who goes out there. I mean, you look at my ships, like I have a repair ship, right? I mean, I have the Crucible. I have all my ships that I have are geared towards
mining, or not mining, but refining.
Right.
Refining. There's a good word for
refinery.
it. Refining the gas giants for the fuel.
Welcome to English by Lightning.
With the skin and the slopes and the woo!
So, basically, every ship that I have for the most part is to fill a role or to find some way to assist other people in the guild or to help people out there. That's what I'm looking forward to out in Star Citizen is like I get my Crucible, right, and I get out there in space and I see someone is damaged or whatnot, and I help them out. I get fuel for guildies so that they don't have to spend money on fuel or something like that.
And then out of the sun, Gaius Baltar comes to the rescue and rams into your ship. Inside joke off the forums from a long time ago.
Yeah, there's a guy that was Gaius Baltar in the forums. He used to always talk about how that he was always talked about the ships he was going to use to ram other players, and that was going to be his focus was ramming people. Like the people who bought really expensive ships, he was going to ram them and destroy their ships and stuff like that.
Which might be the reason why they came up with the insurance fraud program.
Yeah, that very much might be the reason why.
Thank you guys, Baltar. You're going to give us the insurance fraud scamming section of the CIG so that people that go out and ram people just for the lulls will actually lose their LTI insurance or just insurance in general, and they'll never have their fancy rare ships again.
Oh yes, and just as that reminds me, as a side note, so I keep this somewhat short because this the reason it's called is a BlastCast because we don't want to have you sit here for 2-3 hours and watch or listen to two guys ramble on about how their
Rambling
flowers
is
are
what
doing.
I do best.
Well, we're good at rambling, but so basically, when it comes to you just maybe forget what I was going to say. That's not fair. You completely sidetracked me.
Well, our topic today
See,
is...
now I'm rambling.
See, no, the topic today was PvE versus PvE. So,
It's true.
now you're
It's
back
true.
on track.
Well, I kind of am back on track now. But that's what I was gonna say is that basically there was the Free Fly week they had last week where everyone and there was tons of YouTube videos out there. People who had never played Star Citizen, they downloaded, they played it, didn't bother reading the instruction manual, didn't bother looking up the keybinds, didn't bother try pressing buttons. Watching these people crash and smash and flip and not want to get in the ships and everything like that. And it's like one guy was flying around the main station and he was upset that the guns wouldn't fire and there was nowhere to go. He didn't know anything about quantum drive. He didn't realize he was in an armistice zone. He was all pissed off at the game and stuff like that. And it's like I look at that and I'm like, man, this is. I mean, back when I was growing up, these games were way more complicated than this, and you just picked up the instruction manual or hit it, or looked at what the key bindings were, and you learned the game. But the reason I'm bringing that up is when I saw all those people crashing and smashing, it goes back to my strategy on day one.
Not being around.
Don't do anything, guys, when the game launches. Sit in the station, get yourself a beer or whatever it is you want to drink. Look out a window and watch the carnage because it is going to be brutal.
It is going to be the Black Friday of the insurance companies.
It is absolutely going to be the most. You're going to be, and
it'll be remembered in Star Citizen history, in their lore, that this was the day that the insurance companies nearly collapsed when everyone was just drunk out of their mind because of after the success of Operation Pitchfork or whatever.
This will be more destructive than Operation Pitchfork, but this could be way more profitable. See, be smart about this, guys. Anyone out there with a reclaimer or something like that? Just wait for it. Wait till the sky is filled with debris and
our auroras will blot out the sun.
wait till the chunks are everywhere. Wait till people are waiting for their ships to get replaced, and go out there with your claimer and a shovel and just fill that bastard up as much as you can, and make just a ton of money, because that's day one right there. As I said, whatever you do, just don't fly out there with them. Just wait. There's a profit to be made from stupidity. It's all waiting right there for you. You can probably end up with an Idris day one.
So the scrap metal, you'll build your own Idris.
Exactly. You're just like, wow, how did you end up with 500 metric tons of...
That's a funny story, and I'd love to tell you about it, but it would take too long.
Exactly. So yeah. Anyway, guys, to keep this short, I know we went off a little bit of a tangent. We did ramble a bit, but it's still not that long.
PvE good, PvP less good. End of discussion.
Yes, exactly. PvE, focus, PvP, quantum drive away from it. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this is Jarus, Lightning Dragon, and we'll catch you again next week for another BlastCast. Thanks for listening, and have fun out there in the verse.
Bye-bye.